Golden State Media Concepts Social Media Podcast. Time to hashtag everything. We talk about all the fun, crazy stories on social media. From Instagram to Facebook, Twitter to Tumblr, or probably even Friendster. Join us each week as we explore the quirky side of social media. It's the Golden State Media Concepts Social Media Podcast.
It's simple, such a sad song. The one that we rely on to get us.
Your host, Sarah, and I am happy to be with you here on this week of Thanksgiving to talk about some social media news, some things that are trending in the world, some things that maybe aren't trending but for everyone but keep popping up on my timeline. The usual. So last night you may or may not have tuned in to the American Music Awards. American Music Awards, do they just call them AMA? Because then I think of the American Medical Association. Sometimes acronyms aren't terribly helpful. But the American Music Awards were last night. We're into that part of the year where we get a lot of awards shows, it's kind of holidays and awards shows from now through January, maybe even February. I'm not really sure. But as I said, the American Music Awards were live from LA. They were hosted by Ciara this year. Selena Gomez made her return to the AMA stage with her performance of Lose You to Love Me. And look at her now. It was her first television performance in 2 years. Other performers included Travis Scott, Taylor Swift, Shania Twain, Camila Cabello, and Shawn Mendes. Taylor Swift performed and was honored. I think I read somewhere that she's received so many awards. I don't know if it was specifically AMA awards, but she broke one of Michael Jackson's records, so that's pretty impressive. She did perform, and she was also honored. Other awards went to Carrie Underwood for favorite female country artist, Cardi B, favorite rap/hip-hop artist, favorite female soul and R&B artist was Beyonce. Lil Nas X won Rap and Hip Hop Song of the Year for Old Town Road, of course. Post Malone won Rap and Hip Hop Album of the Year for Hollywood's Bleeding. Billie Eilish won New Artist of the Year and Alternative Artist. And then, of course, there were, some controversies and, live tweeting and all this and that. Apparently there was lots of shading. I didn't know that was now a verb, shading, like to throw shade. You can tell me. You can be sitting there going, dang, this woman's old. It's fine. I'm okay with that. I am middle-aged and I understand. But what is trending and what I love is Lizzo and her teeny tiny itty bitty purse. Now, when I say teeny tiny itty bitty purse, I am not kidding. This thing, you could maybe put a dime or you could maybe put a quarter in there. I think you might be able to fit a quarter in it. It is the teeny tiniest little purse, and she is holding it by like thumb and forefinger, and it just dangles from her thumb and forefinger. And it is a Valentino purse. She said that it is only one of 3 in the world. She said this on the red carpet. It is, so Lizzo looked lovely, and I said on the entertainment podcast with Cynthia tonight that she looked like a cupcake, and I didn't mean that in a bad way. Like, she's just wearing this ruffled dress that in some pictures looks peach and in some pictures looks yellow, but it's ruffled, and it suits her, and it's fun, and she just looks like a cupcake. Which sounds terrible. I don't mean that as a backhanded compliment. I thought she looked really nice and fun. And she had this teeny tiny little purse, which she then asked people to Photoshop, which is always, I think, hilarious whenever anybody asks people to Photoshop. But, because the internet will respond. Now, This isn't like, I mean, she knew what she was getting into. This isn't like when somebody asks, can you Photoshop this? And then people just go off and do crazy things. They still went off and did crazy things, but it was expected. So I mentioned her holding this teeny tiny little purse with her thumb and forefinger. And so she asked people to Photoshop and reverse it. So the giant purse was holding teeny tiny Lizzo in it. And I think one of my favorite ones, it's the purse. Much, much bigger, holding the teeny tiny Lizzo. But the arm coming out of the purse is like the regular Lizzo arm from the original picture. So it's this purse with a normal size arm holding this teeny tiny Lizzo in her cupcake dress. And I don't know why that makes me laugh, but it does. And I am not going to apologize for it because, hey, if you can't find stuff on the internet to make you laugh, then you're doing it wrong. I just thought it was really cute, and I liked that she asked people to Photoshop, and the world responded as the world does and made many, many, many memes. I mean, there's a ton more, but I really liked the one where she was, where the purse had the giant arm on it. I just appreciated that. Something else when I was looking up the Lizzo purse Photoshop meme that came up as trending in the United States was Mark McGrath. And I thought, what's going on with that? Now, you may or may not know Mark McGrath. I know he's hosted some shows on television. I know him from the 90s when he was the lead singer of Sugar Ray. I know he's done other things since then. But it turns out that he is trending because he recently helped a woman break up with her boyfriend. Okay, interesting. You're saying why? What happened? Yeah, so this is according to RollingStone.com, and the headline is Sugar Ray's Mark McGrath, POD's Sunny Sandoval assist in prank videos on Cameo. Users on the personalized messaging app requested the same breakup message from 3 celebrities as a joke. Okay, so wow, it's weird to see Mark McGrath old. I mean, he's not old, but he's definitely older than he was in the 90s, because who isn't? So Twitter user @SeanAppalled has come forward as the mastermind behind the Mark McGrath video, as well as a similar Cameo breakup video featuring none other than Anthony Scaramucci. @SeanAppalled originally ordered the Scaramucci and McGrath videos on November 10th and 12th, as confirmed via screenshots of Cameo receipts shared with Rolling Stone. Upon receiving his Cameo orders, he posted both videos on Twitter on November 16th, over a week before a separate tweet by another user containing the McGrath video went viral. All right, so there's your background. There is a tweet from @SeanAppalled that says, Mark McGrath will dump your boyfriend over Cameo. Hashtag Mark McGrath, hashtag Sugar Ray, hashtag Sugar Gay, hashtag Braden, hashtag Cheyenne, hashtag Braden with a Y. All right, so there you go. And there is Mark McGrath looking very intensely into the camera. And then another tweet from @SeanAppalled. Braden's girlfriend got back together with him and then broke up with him again using Anthony Scaramucci. And then you've got kind of the same thing. Although there's no hashtags on that one. He apparently used up all his hashtags on the first. So if you've ever wanted to break up with your partner via video message from Sugar Ray frontman Mark McGrath, congrats. Your desires are very specific. But it's now possible. On Monday, a video message from McGrath posted to the personalized messaging app Cameo and delivered allegedly on behalf of a woman to her boyfriend went viral on Twitter. McGrath warmly addressed the boyfriend, named Braden, and delivered the breakup news from the woman, named Cheyenne, as delicately as he could. She wants you to know that you mean a lot to her, he said. You mean the world to her, but she's having difficulty staying in this long-distance relationship. McGrath showed empathy for the couple, saying that being on the road touring has always been a difficult part of his own marriage. She still wants to be friends with you, and she wants you to know, good luck on your thesis coming up. Probably not the best timing, Cheyenne, when he's doing his thesis, but I understand, he added. Cameo confirmed to Rolling Stone that the video did indeed come from the app, where it was created for a private party. It's unclear how the video made it to Twitter. Monday, McGrath tweeted to a fan praising the video, Also doing real ones for the holiday, my brother. Cameo was not able to tell Rolling Stone what the musician meant by real ones. Cameo surfaced a few years ago as a personalized messaging app where users could request celebrities to deliver video messages for a fee. McGrath is one such celebrity available on the app, offering a flat rate of $100 for a Cameo message. I didn't know this was a thing, honestly. This is why, the internet is a fascinating place. So, not really sure of the whole story behind this. If Cheyenne and Braden really broke up via Mark McGrath or how that all worked. But then, of course, it went viral and people started tweeting and, people made lots of comments and the one I read, now I can't find it again, but it said something about wanting Mark McGrath to tell their family something about Thanksgiving. Oh, see, I'm ruining it. But other people were wanting their, if they ever got fired, if they could do it if their boss could do it via Mark McGrath, they would appreciate it. Even Mark McGrath, tweeted, of course, but Rolling Stone wasn't exactly sure what he meant by real ones. So, yeah. If you want Mark McGrath maybe you could just borrow the video and, just cut out the names and use it that way. But this is weird. I had never thought about, to break up, to do this. I don't know what to say. So this woman said, Twitter, haha, some chick paid Mark McGrath to break up with her boyfriend. Me. I wonder how much it would cost to get him to set healthy boundaries with my mom. You've got more issues than I can probably help you on Twitter and Cameo. But, it's still kind of funny. All right, so if you need Mark McGrath to help you set healthy boundaries or talk to your family about Thanksgiving or break up with your significant other, I guess you can go on Cameo. On that note, we are going to take our first break of the podcast. When we come back, we'll switch to some trending Thanksgiving topics. Stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, and I'll be right back.
Do you want to be healthier, yet you just don't know what to do? All these shows telling you this and that, but nothing seems to work. Well, listen close. Golden State Media Concepts has got something great for you. The Health and Wellness Podcast dedicated to workout trends, healthy eating habits, diet, and everything about healthy living. Join us in our banters as we help you not just live life to the fullest, but live it to the healthiest.
Welcome back to the GSMC. Before the break, we were talking about breaking up with your significant other via Mark McGrath, actually. And now we are moving on. I mentioned Thanksgiving. Dancing with the Stars is currently trending on Twitter, but it is about the finale and who won. And so I'm not going to talk about what's trending, because that particular trending topic, because I don't want to ruin anything for people who haven't seen it yet, because that's just rude. Ways to ruin Thanksgiving. Often it's ruin Thanksgiving or ruin X in 4 words, 5 words, whatever. This is just ruin Thanksgiving. Ways to ruin Thanksgiving. Hashtag ways to ruin Thanksgiving. And the very first thing that popped up is, for every turkey eaten, a baby Yoda dies of hunger. That's so sad, because baby Yoda is so stinking cute. Ways to ruin Thanksgiving. Here is a cake that looks like a disgusting raw turkey, but it's really a cake. Why would you make it look like a raw turkey? Ugh, who's going to cut into that? That's gross. I mean, it's really realistic, and I'm sure it's tasty, but ugh. Okay, this person has issues. Instead of pumpkin pie, serve meth for dessert? Yeah, that would ruin Thanksgiving. Gosh, dude, get some therapy. Oh, let's see. Sports, of course. Oh. Ways to ruin Thanksgiving. This is a meme, quickest way to pick a fight on Thanksgiving. And it is cutting a piece of pumpkin pie right out of the middle so you get no crust. Ooh, yeah, that would make people angry. Yeah, wow. Break into your neighbor's house, stuff all the food in your mouth, run away. And then there's a cute little video of some sort of rodent with its cheeks full. Yeah, it's cute. Okay. Yes, sports, you know, blah, blah, blah. No, that one's mean. Let's see. Some of these are just silly. I mean, people will find them funny. I just don't find everything funny. Let's see. Oh my gosh, some of these are so cynical. I'm not going to read them because they're too cynical and they will offend people, and maybe I'm offended and I don't know. Let's see. This one will definitely offend someone around your Thanksgiving table. It's hashtag way to ruin Thanksgiving. Go around the table and have everyone talk about their favorite politician. Really, no matter where you are on the spectrum, somebody around that table is going to make you upset with their favorite politician. No, not good. Not good. Wow. So anyway, ways to ruin Thanksgiving. There's a million of them. They are trending. Maybe you will add your own addition to it. One says wear a turkey on your head and has the gif of Monica from Friends wearing a turkey on her head, of course. And then there's a lot of gifs from, you know that show WKRP in Cincinnati? That clip gets played a lot at this time of year. I don't think most people who watch that clip have ever heard of WKRP in Cincinnati. I mean, it was on in the 70s. I vaguely remember it. But there was a Thanksgiving episode, and it was a turkey drop, but they were live turkeys and they didn't fly and they splatted, and it's not shown. I mean, it's just all from the perspective of the one reporter who's live on the scene. Yeah, crazy. Anyway, so ways to ruin Thanksgiving. Yeah, there's a million of them, and there's a million that are specific to your family alone. You know your family best, so you would know how to ruin Thanksgiving in your own family. What else can we talk about in terms of social media? Well, let's see, Thanksgiving related, and as you know, weather can often be weird and can often be a factor in holidays. It's been very windy here today, which, I don't know, whatever, it's better than snow. But the Macy's balloons might not fly at this year's Thanksgiving Day parade due to high winds. If you're a fan of the parade, this might be sad news for you. Did you grow up watching the parade? Because I did not. I don't know why we never watched it in my family. Maybe, I don't know. I started watching it as an adult, and I'll turn it on now and tune in, and I enjoy watching it. So at any rate, it's the 93rd annual Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Ooh, we're almost to a century. I wonder what that parade will be like, if they're going to do lots and lots of fun things. But there's a forecast of high winds and strong gusts of wind for Thursday, which could put those famous giant balloons, of like Snoopy or Elmo or whoever they have this year. The New York City regulations stipulate the balloons cannot be flown if sustained winds exceed 23 miles per hour and gusts exceed 34 miles per hour. The current forecast is for sustained winds of 23 miles per hour and gusts up to 38 miles per hour. It's going to be right on the edge there today, weatherman Al Roker said today, Monday. Obviously, parade officials and city officials will make those decisions Thursday morning, but right now it's not looking so good. So you have to remember that these giant balloons are being carried, floated, propelled, whatever, by lots and lots of people, lots and lots of balloon handlers. And we just don't want an up situation where the balloon takes off with all the people. So Susan Tercero said, it's a little too early anyway, but we know it's going to be a great day regardless. She's the executive producer of the parade, and she said, we're going to have the parade no matter what. The show will go on, and we will still have all of our mid-sized balloons as well. So it's just those ginormous ones. The city regulations were put into place in 1998 after a giant Cat in the Hat balloon injured 4 people when high winds caused it to knock over part of a street light on 72nd Street and Central Park West at the previous year's parade. So, safety first, folks. The balloons are cool, but there's lots of other aspects to the parade, right? The balloons would still make an appearance at the parade. They will just basically be dragged along at ground level rather than flown as high as 5 stories like usual. That would be weird. Interesting and different. Kind of weird. Al Roker added that the last time the balloons were grounded due to inclement weather was in 1971, but it still, of course, remains to be seen if they will be grounded this year. They're going to make that decision right before the parade, according to Al Roker. This year's balloons will include, SpongeBob, Snoopy dressed as an astronaut, and green eggs and ham themed balloon. Have you watched the new green eggs and ham series on Netflix? I have not yet, but it does look cute. Celebrities in attendance will include Billy Porter, Idina Menzel, and Leah Michele. There will also be, of course, lots and lots of floats, as well as 11 marching bands that made the cut after an 18-month selection process in which more than 100 bands applied. So there you go, a little background behind the bands at a very little background, but still. So are you a fan of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade? Do you watch it every year? Do you live tweet it? What do you do with the parade? I do like to watch it. I'm not, it's not like I have to watch it every year, but I like to have it in the background in the morning with a cup of coffee and, fire in the fireplace, Thanksgiving socks on my feet, whatever. We're going to take that second break of the podcast, and when we come back, it'll be our final segment, so we're going to talk about saying goodbye in kind of an odd way. Stay tuned. You're listening to the GSMC Social Media News Podcast, and I'll be right back.
Tired of searching the vast jungle of podcasts? Now listen close and hear this out. There's a podcast network that covers just about everything that you've been searching. The Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network is here. Nothing less than a podcast bliss with endless hours of podcast coverage. From news, sports, music, fashion, cooking, entertainment, fantasy, football, and so much more. So stop lurking around and go straight out to the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. Guaranteed to fill that podcast itch. Whatever it may be, visit us at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, and download us on iTunes, SoundCloud, and Google Play.
Since it's Thanksgiving, we can talk about traditions. And since, Thanksgiving is a time when you spend with family and then you have to say goodbye to them. Do you have traditions for how you say goodbye? Do you have specific ways that you say goodbye in your family? I know I've got one friend whose family, whoever is leaving the person who is being left watches the car drive away. They don't walk into the house until the car is out of sight. So, just things like that families do. Well, this story has kept popping up on my Facebook feed, and it's about saying goodbye in the Midwest. Now, I am not from the Midwest. Montana has some Midwestern kind of tendencies, and I grew up Lutheran, and there's a lot of Lutherans in the Midwest. So being Lutheran gives you some Midwestern tendencies as well. And then I worked with a lot of Midwesterners at the summer camp that I worked at 2 years in college. At any rate, so this is the 9 stages of goodbye you'll only understand if you're from the Midwest. And so since we are talking about Thanksgiving and traditions and, probably you'll have to say goodbye to your family at some point, then here are the 9. This is from the odysseyonline.com, and this is the 9 stages of goodbye. If you're from the Midwest, let's see if these resonate with you. Even if you're not from the Midwest, see how many of these resonate with you. So number 1 is the whelp. Yeah, actually I know this one. The beginning of every good Midwestern goodbye starts with the stand up and whelp. This means you have to leave, but you're not going anywhere anytime soon. The whelp only functions as a signal that you must begin the process of leaving. Number 2, the hugs. The next step in saying goodbye is the hugs. Everyone gets one, be it grandma, grandpa, your weird uncle, all the babies, even the dog gets a goodbye hug. My family does this. There's much hugging. This is by far the lengthy step because a Midwestern hug is a whole different breed of drawn out hug. Yeah, there's hugging, there's swaying, there's patting. It's a thing. Number 3 is the walk to the door. So you've said the whelp, you've done hugging. Now you start to walk to the door. This can take a while. Once everybody has gotten that goodbye hug, the walk begins. Every Midwesterner knows that no matter how many steps away the door is, it will take no less than 20 minutes to get there during the stages of a goodbye. You have to talk about how good the food was or when you plan to see each other next. No matter the subject, the walk to the door always takes a hot minute. So you can see why this is a process. Number 4, the doorway chat. You finally made it to the door, but often you put your hand on the handle, right? And you start to open the door, but then you have another conversation. You maybe you open the door, and that's always fun when it's cold, so you're letting all the heat out. But, so you have the mid-doorway chat, and this conversation has literally nothing to do with anything, and most of the time involves a lot of belly laughs. This conversation can range anywhere from 5 minutes to 45 minutes. We really hope you went to the bathroom before you tried to leave, because if not, you have to start the goodbye process all over from square one. Yep. Welp. Number 5, the we really should be going. This simple statement signals that you must end the doorway conversation and begin the descent to the car. You can imagine that that's not quick either. Number 6, the second round of hugs. Yes, the first one was like 45 minutes ago, maybe an hour. You have to hug again. Once the first hour has elapsed and the sun is setting, the second round of hugs begins. This time, there is less talking, but significantly more back patting and side swaying. In my family, you get the side swaying and the back patting no matter what. This time, the goal is solely to get out the door, and you really have your eye on the prize, the doorknob. Number 7, I already talked about this, the hand on the doorknob. Almost there. The knob is in hand, but wait, there's another conversation to go still. You can't leave until someone says goodbye in a weird voice and sparks more laughter, or your dad and uncle start doing that thing where they quote movies until they laugh so hard they cry. At this point, at least an hour has passed and you've moved 10 feet. I don't think we have that step in my family. The movie quoting, yes, but that's like an everyday, all day kind of thing with me and my brother. And sometimes my dad. But it doesn't usually pop up in goodbyes. 8, the slow open conversation. I wonder if this is like a slow clap. So as you make your way down to the driveway, there is yet another conversation about whatever may arise. Who knows what time it is at this point? All you know is that it's been at least long enough to digest the huge Midwestern meal you just ate, and it's time for a snack. Number 9, the window wave. Once you've finally made it out of the house and into your car, you can fully expect that Midwestern hospitality window wave as you pull away. The only correct response to your grandma's porch light flickering wave is a series of honks to let them know that you truly care about the traditional goodbye. This is pretty typical of my family. Parts of it are. We spend more time, I think, in the driveway than we do at the doorway, even when it's cold, we tend to get to the car and stop, and then, there's that second round. There's usually the round of hugs inside, there's the round of hugs at the car, there is the watching the car back down the driveway, the waving, sometimes the honking, never really the porch light flickering, but yeah, this was the case when we went to my grandmother's house for Christmas. This is the case at my parents' house now. You have to go to the car. There's the goodbye in the house. Maybe it's not as lengthy as a Midwestern goodbye, but we always end up outside, which is dumb because Montana is cold in the winter. So is the Midwest. But why? Why do we do the Midwesterners have it right when they're doing the door conversation? Because we have the door conversation at the door of the car, and then everybody's freezing because, of course, you didn't bother to put your coat on. You're going back in the house if you're staying, and if you're leaving, you're getting in the car, and you don't want to wear your coat in the car. Anyway, what are your goodbye traditions? What are your Thanksgiving goodbye traditions, maybe more specifically? I would love to hear about them in the comments. Let me know. And thank you so much for tuning in to this somewhat Thanksgiving-themed episode of the GSMC Social Media News Podcast. If you are a fan of this podcast, I would be grateful. I would be thankful if you would do me the favor of following us on social media, of commenting on social media posts and this episode, subscribing to us on YouTube and iTunes, Apple Podcasts now. And finally, the thing that you can do that would make me the most grateful would be to give us a lovely 5-star review if you are so moved. There's no coercion. Have a wonderful, happy Thanksgiving. Eat until you wear stretchy pants and then eat. And then say really long goodbyes to your family. I am going to say, well, this has been a whole segment goodbye if you really want to go that way. So I'll just say a quick goodbye now. And we'll talk about what's trending on the next episode.
You've been listening to the Golden State Media Concepts Social Media Podcast, part of the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network. You can find this show and others like it at www.gsmcpodcast.com. Download our podcast on iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, and Google Play. Just type in GSMC to find all the shows from the Golden State Media Concepts Podcast Network, from movies to music, from sports to entertainment, and even weird news. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Facebook. Thank you, and we hope you have enjoyed today's program.